여자친구야 어쩜 뭐 할까 baby.
Hello my beautiful vendors and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm here for you with a Seoul travel guide. This guide will have many different parts and we're going to start with number one, the most important info you need to know before booking your trip to Seoul and when you get there. I'm going to talk about how to book flights, accommodation, which neighborhoods to go to, taxis, public transportation, safety, you name it. So without any further ado, let's get started right away. Starting at number one, booking your trip. So some of my personal favorite websites to use are the popular ones like Skyscanner for flights, Booking, Agoda, Expedia for hotels, but I actually found out that trip.com has been the most affordable option when it comes to Seoul accommodations. I don't know why, but they always have the best deals. And for example, during my recent trip, I was constantly checking for hotels and then I saw that they have so many different discount codes and special promos. For example, a deal that you can get when you decide to stay 3 nights or more in a certain place, which I mean, I think for most of you who are going to Seoul and watch this video, you're staying more than 3 nights, so that is perfect. So yeah, definitely check out their website or their app. And then for flights, like I said, I use Skyscanner, but very important tip from me, I don't book through Skyscanner, so I only use it to check the most affordable dates and then I go to the actual airline website to actually book my flights. Trust me, that is always the most affordable option. And by the way, when talking about booking directly on the airline websites, I know that some people like to book package deals, but when you book directly through an airline, you have so many benefits, like for example accumulating certain flight points, miles, whatever the program is called in your country depending on your airline that you like to choose, or choosing meal options, choosing seats. It is definitely worth checking out multiple airlines to see what is the best deal for you. And also if you happen to have an Amex card, you can use points to spend on certain airlines. Definitely make sure you do your research for this because it can save you a lot of money that obviously you would rather spend in Seoul than on your flight. And also my besties, just in case, use incognito mode, especially if you have been researching flights for a long time. Then number two is accommodation. Now I have stayed in multiple different hotels in Seoul, including the May Hotel. This is located in Ikseondong, very convenient location, and it's an okay hotel. I wouldn't say it's the best, but the rooms are definitely solid and it is on a more affordable side. I have also stayed in Gangnam and this hotel was so amazing, not because of the rooms were okay-ish, not the best, especially because I don't think they were the cleanest. Like the sheets and everything in the bathroom was clean, but there was a lot of dust, just warning you. But the rooftop pool, I was so happy that I went there because it can get so hot in Seoul, especially in the summer months. So this was so perfect to cool down and totally made my trip. This hotel was also definitely less expensive and I booked it through trip.com. But my ultimate favorite accommodations have to be the accommodations that I stayed in from Classic Gotaek. Trust me, these accommodations are an experience of a lifetime. Classic Gotaek offers traditional hanok experiences with the convenience of modern appliances. I've stayed in 4 of their hanoks already and each of them is incredibly beautiful in its own unique way. If you want to immerse yourself in Korean culture, this, although it's more expensive, is an experience you don't want to miss out on. Also, the locations of these hanoks are perfect. I stayed in one in the Buksan Hanok village, which adds to the traditional aspect of it all. And did you know that you can actually not be in the Buksan Hanok village at nighttime if you're not a resident or if you're not staying in an Airbnb like I was? So that is amazing for people like me who love quiet, calm environments, peaceful surroundings, because at nighttime, like after 6, there are literally almost no people on the streets, completely empty, but the supermarkets and everything are still open. So yeah, it cannot get any more convenient than that. No loud tourists allowed. So if you like that traditional hanok aspect, but you don't want to stay in a ground level house and you prefer to stay higher up in an apartment for whatever reason, it could be safety reasons, I totally get it. It can feel more safe to be higher up, especially when you're traveling alone. By the way, all my trips to Seoul have been solo trips. just saying like it was all just me by myself. And one particular accommodation that I really enjoyed was also by the team of Classic Gotaek, but it was one of their apartments. Okay, so this is where you enter. Beautiful painting, water dispenser. This is the lounge. And then, oh my goodness, this is the rooftop terrace. How incredible is this? I have my own terrace, you guys. Wow, this is absolutely insane. And look how big it is. Look at this view. Wow, I'm so happy, and it's so sunny here. Here I have 2 toilets. So here's the couch. Then look at this giant bath. Oh, this looks so luxurious. And then the kitchen, Marshall speaker once again, and another co-way. Got the double sinks, that's me. And then this is the bedroom, looks so cozy and comfy. And then that's the beautiful, gorgeous view. So happy with this accommodation. I cannot wait to stay here. Everything is so beautiful. Dyson equipment as per usual. They have the hair tools in every single accommodation. That's the best ever. Even a tea set. I couldn't have wished for a better place. I'm so happy. So as you can see, this is a very modern apartment with a rooftop terrace. How amazing. And all the modern appliances that you need, but with traditional hanok aspects. So it's still in the same theme, but it is a lot more modern. And also this is a great place to stay if you're alone, like I was, because the other accommodations I was staying there, they all had so many rooms and so many different bathrooms as well, but I was staying there all by myself. So obviously, if you're solo traveling, you don't need big spaces like that. An apartment like the one that I showed you is going to be perfect for you. Okay, so now that we got that sorted, flights, accommodation, you're ready to go. Okay, the next thing is to reserve some cash. So I totally recommend to exchange your local currency for Korean wons. And I know that in Korea you can pay with credit card almost everywhere. But trust me, there are still places that prefer cash or that only accept cash. So for example, this includes gashapons and certain market stalls, but also I think having cash with you is so convenient for when anything goes wrong. Like for example, if your credit card stops working, or if like me, one time I forgot my wallet and I wanted to pay with Apple Pay at a very popular spot. This was at Cafe Onion, and they didn't accept Apple Pay, which I was so shocked by because it is a very popular tourist spot, but yeah, they didn't accept it. So also don't rely on Apple Pay. Make sure that you have, you know, a variety of different payment options available to you. I personally always exchange my wons at the airport. I just reserve it in advance and then collect it and then go on my flight. Another really important tip is to always check the K-IDA website before going to Seoul. So some countries require you to have a K-IDA. Now, I live in the Netherlands and my country is exempt from it, which is great, but I still need to fill out something really important upon arrival, and that is an arrival card. It looks like this, and they are available at the airport right before security. You can't miss it. There are always a bunch of people filling these out manually with a pen, but because it's manually and with a pen, it requires some time. Now, luckily, they have rolled out a system. I think that the system is already in place right now because the last time I went, by the way, I went to Seoul 5 times over the past couple of years, 5 times since 2023. So that is why I felt qualified to make a travel guide. I've been to other places in the world more often, but I feel like, you know, 5 times is enough to kind of talk about it, right? But yeah, something that is important to know is that they rolled out a system which makes sure that you have a QR code instead of having to fill it out manually. And they already rolled it out when I was there last time in November of last year. We still had the paper cards available, but I think that as time progresses, they will rely solely on that QR system, which is so much more convenient and will save you a lot of time upon arrival. Now, arrival, you are in Seoul. Yes, we have arrived at the airport. What do you do now? Obviously, you arrive at Incheon Airport and you want to go to Seoul, the city center. Now, there are multiple ways to do so. You can use public transport. They have airport limousine buses, they have trains, but you can also get a taxi. Now, a taxi is my preferred way to go to Seoul. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but it's so much more convenient. However, I'm still a girl that loves to budget, so my best tip is to book it in advance on booking.com. Now, this sounds so counterintuitive because you're like, why would I book it in advance and have a driver waiting for me? Isn't that more expensive? But no, actually it's way cheaper. It's also cheaper than an Uber. It's also cheaper than the taxis that are at the taxi stands. Trust me, this is the best option if you want to go by car. So what is actually the best part about this is that the driver will already be waiting for you. Usually they have a little sign with your name on it and they will guide you to their car. And I've even had some taxi drivers wait for me with free water, free iced coffee. So yeah, ultimate convenience, convenience level 100. Couldn't recommend that enough. And of course, if you have a lot of luggage, it's even better. Now, getting around in Seoul. So in my opinion, the subway is the best way to get around in Seoul. It requires some getting used to, but once you get the hang of the system, it's actually not that difficult at all. And the best part is that they actually have English translations for the names as well. So the places are written both in Hangul and in English, which was such a relief for me when I first saw that because I did not expect that. But yeah, that's super easy. And Korean people are so friendly. You can also just ask somebody. I've done that so many times and they will always help you to find your way in the subway. If you're planning on using the subway, just get yourself a T-money card. You can get them at the convenience stores and you can top them up with cash. Another reason why you need cash. Or you can top them up at a machine and then you also need cash. And then you can just tap in and when you leave the subway, you can just tap out. It's as easy as that. And now you're a local officially because you're riding the subway. And these T-money cards also work on the bus, by the way. Now, if you prefer to go by taxi, which I completely understand, Uber is your best bet. It is the cheapest option. Now, I know that so many people will probably recommend Kakao Taxi, but I've tested both. And for me, Uber, every single time, it is less expensive. So yeah, if you really want to make sure you got the best deal because you're on a budget, for example, I recommend to download both apps and then you can check the fare per specific route, per specific ride, and you can check whichever is least expensive. But in my opinion, Uber always wins. Translating. So sometimes it's obviously a little bit difficult because not everybody in Korea speaks English. And if you still want to understand each other, Papago is a great app. So all you need to do is just point your phone at something, point the camera at something, and then it translates on the spot whatever is written there in text. It also has a speech option, so you can use the microphone and just talk and then let somebody else talk and translate your conversation. That way, also really convenient. I've used both options pretty frequently when I was in Korea and it always worked like a charm. Now, if you're planning to go to Seoul and you're planning to solo travel and you're concerned about safety, trust me, Seoul is one of the safest places that I've ever been to, especially when it comes to cities. Big cities like that. I've never been in a city that felt safer than Seoul. I know that sometimes there are videos going around of people leaving their bag somewhere and then they will come back hours later and it will still be there. That's the kind of society that Seoul is, so don't worry, it is definitely a safe place also for girls solo traveling. Yeah, definitely recommend it as a solo traveling hotspot. Also, besides it being safe, I think what makes me the most comfortable as a solo traveler is that people are always willing to help you when you ask. So like I said, in the subway they will help you with directions, but also one time I was in that apartment that I showed you guys and I actually locked myself out of the apartment and I fell down the stairs and hurt my knee and broke my suitcase. It was a horrible day, guys. And then this super lovely lady downstairs, she helped me get into my apartment again. And yeah, I offered her money even to, you know, for the inconvenience, but she didn't want it. She was just so happy to help. And those kind of generous people you will find a lot in Seoul from my experience. So that is another amazing reason why you need to visit this city. And then last but not least, where to go in Seoul. So I always like to use TikTok and Instagram for my main sources of inspiration of where to go in Seoul, because in the city there are so many different pop-ups. Seoul is a very trendy city in that sense. There are always events going on. There are always a bunch of new restaurants that just open, a bunch that close, which you can also find information about on social media. Definitely plan your trip ahead, especially if you want to do a lot, and plan which neighborhoods you definitely want to see, because everything is quite spread out. I mean, it's easy and convenient to go with the subway like I said, but still, to explore one specific neighborhood you need to schedule a full day. That is how big everything is. And a few of my favorite neighborhoods to go to include Iksan-dong. Such beautiful, cute little alleyways. I love it. If you want a completely different vibe, Gangnam with the high rises and all the different skincare clinics. And then the Anguk area around the Gyeongbokgung Palace is also amazing. Such a beautiful place to go to. So that was it for today. In the next video that I will make about Seoul in this travel guide series, I will talk more in depth about the neighborhoods, because there is so much to talk about and this video is already so long. So definitely subscribe if you don't want to miss out on that. Yeah, hit that notification button. It will really make me so happy. My goal for this year is to reach 600,000 subscribers, so if you could help me with that, that would mean the world to me. Please let me know what other videos you want to see in this series. I'm planning on talking about the skincare clinics more in depth, about shopping, about cafe hopping, my favorite restaurants to go to. And Seoul is not the only place that I will talk about. I'm also planning to make content about Busan and other cities in South Korea, to talk about Okinawa, make a travel guide about Ibiza, Formentera, all the places that I love so much. So yeah, stay tuned for more. And for now, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. Love you loads.